Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2017 Saul Price School of Public Policy Commencement. I am Carol Rush, Associate Dean for Student Affairs. Please rise and welcome the class of 2017. The procession is now entering the auditorium. It is led by flag bearers. On the right side of the middle aisle is Griffin Kantz, our valedictorian, and on the left side of the middle aisle is undergraduate student leader Jordan Lopez. The faculty are now entering the auditorium. Dean Jack Knott and commencement speaker Secretary Julián Castro are leading the faculty on the right side of the aisle, and Vice Dean Julie Zissimopoulos is leading the faculty on the left side of the aisle. The doctoral graduates are entering the right side of the center aisle, led by Doctor of Philosophy graduate Matthew Young and Doctor of Policy Planning and Development graduate Grace Luwama. The master students are now entering the auditorium and are processing down the center aisle. The Master of Health Administration graduates are led by Callie Wong, Director of Program Development for Student Health Council, and Yamilet Medrano, Co-Chair of Price Latino Student Association. They are followed by the Executive Master of Health Administration graduates, led by Luis Felipe Arangoparo and Roderick Elliott McGrew. Auditorium are the Executive Master of Leadership graduates, led by Thomas Kevin Burke, President of the Executive Master of Leadership Student Organization, and EML student Carolina Marquez. Entering the auditorium are the Master of Nonprofit Leadership and Management graduates, led by Caitlin Hennessy and Brooke Phoenix. Following are the Master of Planning graduates, led by the Association of Students of Planning and Development President Anna Evans Goldstein and ASPD Vice President Olivia Johnsick. are the Master of Public Administration students, led by Victoria Rocha, President of the Graduate Policy and Administration Community, and Fiona Cabana, Chair of the Price Social Innovation Student Association. Entering the auditorium are the Master of Public Policy graduates, led by Victor Sanchez, co-chair of the Partnership for Equitable Los Angeles, and Brittany Wise, chair of Price Society of Black Students. Are the Master of International Public Policy and Management students, led by IPAM Graduate Association President Nisha Khan and IPAM Student Senate Member Ahmed Magyar. Now entering are the Master of Real Estate Development students, led by Michelle Bates and Graduate Real Estate Association President Louis Benjamin Miller. Now entering the left and right aisles are the undergraduates. The Bachelor of Science in Policy, Planning and Development, Bachelor of Science in Public Policy, Planning and Management, and Bachelor of Science in Urban Studies and Planning students are led by David Rochefort and Tara Prasad. The procession concludes with the Bachelor of Science in Real Estate Development graduates led by Albert Blank and Trojan Real Estate Association President Joshua Hassad.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. You could please be seated. To the USC Price Class of 2017, I commend you on your achievements. Congratulations. There are 272 public policy schools in the United States, and I am proud to tell you that thanks to the dedication and acumen of our faculty and staff and the quality of our students, U.S. News and World Report has ranked the Price School this year as 4th in the country. And contributing to that are our outstanding faculty. So at this point, I'd like to ask the faculty to rise so we can celebrate you. And one more important group deserves our admiration. Many years ago, they began planning for this moment. Today is the culmination of their sacrifice and their love. So would the parents, grandparents, and family members of our graduates stand and allow us to show our deep gratitude. So I'd like to mention to our parents that as the national ranking of the Price School continues to rise, your daughter or son's degree becomes even more prestigious. So we view that as a value added to your investment, and we hope that you will too. So at this time, I'd like to recognize 10 of today's graduates who have been designated as university scholars at Commencement. This is a very prestigious distinction, and the 10 honorees are the most we've ever had as a school. So this is the most distinctive class we have ever had as a school. 3 of these outstanding undergraduate students are designated as global scholars, one of whom is a prize winner. The Global Scholars Program encourages our students to become outstanding world citizens. These students extend their learning by spending at least 10 weeks in other countries around the world. Our 3 recipients are Broilio, Nicholas Hoyos, and Sung-hee Kil, and Nika Shaheri. Braulio is a prize winner and will receive $10,000 towards his graduate study. His group project developed a design proposal for a suburban neighborhood in Queensland, Australia. Sung-hee spent 2 months in Korea and wrote an excellent paper on the South Korean government's effort to move their capital city to Sejong. And Nika spent time in Melbourne, Australia, working on a paper analyzing the greatest obstacles to a successful peace agreement between Palestine and Israel. Please recognize these scholars. Our next group is the Stephen and Catherine Sample Renaissance Scholars. They are USC undergraduates who have excelled academically while pursuing at least 2 widely separated fields of study. This year, the Price School has 6 recipients. Alexia Garcia is a progressive degree student, concurrently earning the bachelor degree with the Health Policy and Management track and the Master of Health Administration, and she is also earning a minor in Spanish. Griffin Reese-Kantz is today earning the Bachelor of Science degree with the Sustainable Planning track and minors in Mathematics and Spatial Studies. Emily Ruth Moneymaker is earning the Bachelor of Science degree with the Nonprofit and Social Innovation track and a minor in Marketing. And Audrey Ellen Peterson is earning the Bachelor of Science degree with the Sustainable Planning track and a minor in Communications Design. And Laura Marie Riley is today earning a double major, the Bachelor of Science with the Public Policy and Law track and the Bachelor of Arts in Political Science, plus a minor in Spanish. And Nika Deborah Shaheri is also earning a double major, the Bachelor of Science with the Public Policy and Law track and a Bachelor of Arts in International Relations. Let's recognize these outstanding scholars. Then there is the USC Discovery Scholars Program. These students excel in the classroom and display the ability to create exceptional new scholarship or artistic works. This year, Subin Kim has been designated a Discovery Scholar for her analysis of a city space in Utrecht, the Netherlands. Subin reimagined Utrecht City Center through a lens of how to preserve and enhance the center for both present and future uses. Please acknowledge Soo Kim. And yesterday, we had an awards ceremony in which we honored all of our students who have achieved exemplary academic excellence. So would all of the award recipients please stand and let us recognize these outstanding students. Now, the auditorium you are sitting in today has a very interesting history. Believe it or not, before the construction of the Galen Center, this stage was the home court for the USC men's basketball team. Legend has it that if you listen very carefully, you will hear the echoes of cheering Trojans from long ago. See, I wasn't wrong. This hall also has some notable Hollywood history. Your grandparents will remember the classic movie King Kong. It's the story of a movie director and an actress who traveled to a mysterious island in the Indian Ocean where they capture a gigantic gorilla and bring him to Manhattan. On a fateful night in the theater on Broadway, they reveal King Kong to the public. Tormented by flashbulbs and shouts, mighty King Kong breaks free and the audience runs screaming into the streets. That audience scene was filmed right here where you are sitting. By contrast, if everything goes according to plan when you leave the auditorium today, you will be much happier and more optimistic than those panicked New Yorkers. So upon graduation, it's traditional to tell those who are graduating that they have worked hard to get here. But those words don't really begin to describe what you have achieved. After all, you traveled a long road to arrive here today. Perhaps there were times when you wondered if you could handle it all, and other times when everything came together just as you hoped it would. Whatever came your way, you navigated it. You never quit. Through your relationships with each other, in friendships, student associations, internships, practicums, capstones, and with faculty guidance and mentoring, you grew in your capacity to collaborate and to lead. So we celebrate your character, your mind, and your heart. You have been tested, and you have shown us what you are made of. We are deeply, deeply proud of you. However, you probably suspected there was a however. Life will not stop testing you. It will test your skill. It will test your wits, your intellect, and your resilience. But most of all, it will test your character. And when your character is tested, I believe you will show yourself to be true Trojans. So how do you go about doing that? Well, one of the clearest insights into character comes from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in a commencement speech he delivered at Oberlin College in 1965. It was a turbulent time. President Kennedy had been assassinated in Dallas just a few months earlier. 3 civil rights workers, all in their early 20s, were murdered in Mississippi. Riots had erupted in Philadelphia, New York, and Rochester. Dr. King had just won the Nobel Peace Prize. And here's what he told the students at Oberlin. The time is always right to do what is right. Now, when you first hear those words, they sound like an optimistic tautology, but they are something really entirely different. Dr. King was sharing a key to the ethical life. For those of you who may not have achieved Dr. King's degree of moral clarity, it can be tempting to postpone moral action. That way we get to tell ourselves we are fundamentally good, but we don't have to take the risks that go along with it. Dr. King asked that when you see the opportunity to do the right thing, seize it with intelligence and good sense, but seize it. The world that awaits you is a profoundly dynamic and turbulent one. We live in astonishing times, really. There is breathtaking progress, there is upheaval, there is uncertainty. And even within the past few months, we witnessed major shifts in politics, policy, government, and international relations. And I want to suggest to you today that at this present moment, doing the right thing is not only desirable, it is imperative, and this is why. Change and progress are the lifeblood of America. However, and there's that word again, however, something really is not right. Our differences are hardening into angry divisions. Prejudice is rising. There is polarization, gridlock, false news, the distortion of science. So what does it mean to do what is right in today's world? And I would like to focus briefly on just two values that should never change and that should guide our actions and our character. The first value is truth with integrity. When the perception of what is true becomes more important than the truth, the trust between people and their faith in democratic institutions begins to erode. Every one of us, whether we're liberals, conservatives, independents, libertarians, however you see the world, each one of us has a personal stake in restoring trust. As you know from our studies, poorly conceived policy and poorly conceived planning often causes conflict. You can change that in the public sector through policy analysis, city management, government agencies, and nonprofit organizations, and in the private sector and urban planning, design and architecture, healthcare, consulting, and real estate. You can make a real difference because you have been trained to be seekers of truth, to solve problems using facts, to favor evidence over ideology, and to respect differences of viewpoint and analysis. You understand the complex interplay among government, business, and nonprofits in solving public problems. Because you are Price Scholars, you have a vital role to play in repairing trust in our society. Because you are Trojans, you are called to play that role with courage and with integrity. The second value is access and opportunity. What is right and wrong often finds its most powerful expression in the infrastructures of society. In our culture, our laws and our policies, our institutions and our enterprises. Oftentimes these infrastructures reflect prejudice and privilege, and we need to do what is right by working to change them. At USC and the Price School, we are working hard to increase access, opportunity, and inclusion for first-generation and diverse students of all backgrounds, including many immigrants to our country. Fully 43% of all our students come from groups that are underrepresented in society, and 22% of our master's students are international, while around 15% of USC's incoming undergraduates are first-generation college students. We continue to build on our existing pipeline by reaching out to students from all backgrounds to pursue admission to the Price School. Some of our existing programs include a partnership with South Central Scholars and with the East LA Renaissance Academy for high school students interested in urban planning, among many other programs. From donors to faculty and staff to our students, immigrants and first-generation Americans have been instrumental in the evolution of the Price School. In that regard, it is deeply moving for us to witness firsthand the determination of immigrants and first-generation Americans to give back, to do the right thing that will strengthen their community and our country. Among them, for example, is John Bedrosian, the co-founder of National Medical Enterprises, one of the first for-profit hospitals in the country. He and his wife, Judith, are major donors to our school, who endowed the John and Judith Bedrosian Center on Governance. John's parents fled the Armenian genocide in Turkey, and like many other refugees, they settled in America to start a new life. John often marvels at the enormous opportunities afforded him and other immigrants who come to the United States with no material goods, but through determination and hard work, make a much better life for themselves and for their children. That same determination, that deep sense of gratitude and aspiration, is certainly shared by Price School's most famous immigrant, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Much of Governor Schwarzenegger's life has been an instruction manual for recognizing opportunity and for leveraging it for the common good. Along with funding the Schwarzenegger Institute at the Price School, he has been tireless in his support of environmental policy, good governance, and after-school programs for kids from low-income neighborhoods. And 101 years ago, a first-generation American named Saul Price was born in New York. His parents were immigrants from Belarus. Saul grew up to become a brilliant businessman whose retail empire included FedMart, the Price Club, and Costco. But he also believed in the dignity of human beings. He built socially conscious, fundamentally decent companies that rejected segregation and union busting in favor of equality and fair wages. He believed it is always right to do the right thing. And just a few weeks ago, a talented member of the Price School staff stood in the Los Angeles Convention Center with 3,791 fellow immigrants and became an American citizen. She is an immigrant from India who lived a very precarious life as a child, including a period being homeless in Bombay. She told her friends that they didn't have to come to the convention center, but they completely ignored her and came anyway. She said, quote, "They cried even harder than I did." So Sylvia D'Souza, who in addition to working at the Price School will start her master's degree this fall, would you please stand so we can officially recognize and welcome the Price School's newest American citizen. At the beginning of my remarks, I congratulated you on your achievement. You deserve every word of praise you received today. You made this moment happen. However, I know you will remember that someone else made you happen. People before you built USC and the Price School and opened the way for you. When Price Philanthropies made the transformational gift to name the school, they hoped for a day when women and men of integrity would use their understanding of public policy to make a better world and to plan and develop better communities for the future. They imagined a student body rich with racial, geographic, and ethnic diversity. They envisioned graduating classes blessed with immigrants and native-born citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, Trojans, they envisioned you. Take your substantive understanding of public policy, health policy and management, public and nonprofit management, urban planning and real estate development, and pay it forward by making the world a better place. When you see an opportunity to do the right thing, live by Dr. King's words, the time is always right to do what is right. Do it with care, do it with intelligence and common sense, but do it. Know that the world needs you. Take that to heart. It's not a sentimental suggestion, it's a call to your character. Show the world what you are made of. So to the class, to the USC Price class of 2017, congratulations, long may you prosper, and fight on. So at this time, it's my great pleasure and privilege to introduce this year's commencement speaker. Our keynote speaker is an individual who has followed Martin Luther King's call to action. His family's Texas roots trace back to 1920 when his grandmother, Julián Castro, came to America as a 6-year-old orphan from northern Mexico. When he was just 26 years old, he became the youngest city councilman in San Antonio history, and just a few years later, he was elected mayor, making him the youngest mayor of a major American city. His achievements in that office were many. He enlisted people of San Antonio to contribute to a collective vision and goals that still live today in this SA 2020 initiative. He expanded pre-kindergarten services in San Antonio and revitalized the city's urban core. And these accomplishments lighted the way for his emergence as a leader in urban development. In 2012, he gained national prominence as the first Hispanic to deliver the keynote address at a Democratic national convention. And just 2 years later, he became Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, where he served President Obama and the nation with distinction. Today, he serves as a member of DC-based think tank Inter-American Dialogue, devoted to economic, social, and political progress in the Americas. And I will also share with you that he received his undergraduate degree from Stanford and his law degree from Harvard. However, we at the Price School are a tolerant and open-minded people, so we decided to invite him anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Julián Castro.
Good morning, y'all. Buenos dias. First of all, thanks a lot, Dean Knott, for that introduction, and also for letting me into the building as a cardinal, and also for getting my name right. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I was introduced as Julián Castro, which wasn't totally weird because Joaquin is my brother and we're twins. But the thing is that usually when we're at the same place, he introduces me by saying that the way to tell us apart is that I'm a minute uglier than he is. When I was in DC, I used to say that the real way to tell us apart was that both of us lived in DC, but he was in Congress, so I was the only Castro brother that actually worked in Washington, DC. Dean, I want to commend you and your colleagues and this stellar student body who have made Price one of the most outstanding public policy schools in the entire United States. Congratulations for that, y'all. You have a lot to be proud of. I also want to give a quick shout out to Richard Green. Professor Green originally extended the invitation for me to join you today, and he and I had the chance to work together at the Department of Housing and Urban Development at HUD, where he served as a special advisor. And he did a phenomenal job. Thank you very much, Richard, for reaching out originally. I appreciate it. And most of all, a huge congratulations to the 2017 graduating class of the University of Southern California. Y'all have earned it. I also want to join the dean in congratulating all of the parents, the grandparents, relatives, family, and friends who are here to support our graduates, folks who have helped them get to this moment in their lives. Sunday, of course, is Mother's Day. So let's give a special shout out to all the moms in the room today. For all those teachers' conferences that you went to along the way, the homework that you guided them on, all the nights that you stayed up late worrying about them, and the dreams that you worked hard to make come true for them, thank you. To our graduates, I'm happy to join you today because you make me hopeful about the future. You see, we live today in a world in which brain power is the new currency of success in this 21st century global economy. Those communities, states, and nations that cultivate it will be the ones that thrive, and those that don't will fall behind. Today, the United States is engaged in a competition for progress and opportunity like never before, with nations rising around the world who are producing tons of young people with the talent, the intelligence, and the ambition to produce the ideas and the companies that will drive prosperity in the decades to come. That means that here at home, we don't have a single person to waste. We need everyone's talent, starting with yours. You are who we're counting on to help expand prosperity in the years to come. The fact that you're about to cross this stage today means that you're hardworking, that you're smart, and that you've chosen a particular course of study. You have a passion for understanding, changing, creating, shaping, legislating, improving, and/or implementing public policy. The dictionary defines public policy as, quote, government policies that affect the whole population. In other words, your work, the path that you're on, is about the people. That's whom you've chosen to devote your study to. Not special interests or only the powerful, not only those who have, but also those who don't. The entire community. When I was Secretary of HUD, I had the chance to truly see our country. I visited in 2.5 years 100 communities in 39 states. I went to big cities and to small towns, to places liberal and conservative, and everything in between. At the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota, I saw a house that 18 people lived in, including 2 families who lived in a basement, partitioned by a bedsheet. In Philadelphia, I met a man who just moved into an apartment for low-income tenants. He'd been homeless just 12 days earlier. When I spoke with him at his front door, he told me that several times since he'd moved in, he'd forgotten to take his keys with him when he left. You see, it had been so long since he had his own place to live that he'd lost a habit that you and I take for granted every day. Now he had to remind himself to grab his keys right before he walked out the door. In San Diego, I visited an affordable housing construction site. The developer introduced himself to me as a veteran. He said he used to be homeless himself, and now he was creating housing for homeless veterans who needed it. In my travels, I saw just how many of our fellow Americans are still in need. But I also saw the power of their resilience and optimism. Folks who absolutely wouldn't quit when life got tough. I learned just how big a heart neighbors have for one another and how much more there still is to do. I also came to understand how much resources matter, that the best of intentions and the most earnest efforts often aren't enough alone to turn lives around, unless you have the resources too. But I also saw so clearly that leadership and good public policy matter, that they're essential for progress. More than 2 decades ago, policy pioneers here in Los Angeles started something amazing. They embarked upon a housing-first approach to ending homelessness. At the time, most policymakers thought that the best way to tackle homelessness was to demand responsibility from a homeless person at the very outset, to take a man or woman living on the streets and provide them with temporary shelter. And then, if they promised to go through a program and to look for a job or to study for their GED, to furnish them with transitional housing for 6 months or a year. And then, if they kept doing what they should, finally they'd get into their own apartment, into their own permanent housing. Housing First turned that whole model on its head. Instead of making homeless folks jump through hoops to get into permanent housing, it placed them in permanent housing right away. The idea was that having a place of one's own is stabilizing. It allows a person to then address an addiction or lack of employment or lack of education more effectively, since he or she doesn't have to worry about where they're going to sleep at night or for how long. It was a policy revolution. It put opportunity before responsibility. And you know what? It worked. Over the years, more and more cities and states adopted a housing-first approach. And in 2010, the Obama administration launched Opening Doors, the first federal blueprint that said, we're not just going to reduce homelessness, we're going to end it, beginning with veteran homelessness. With a housing-first approach at its core, the administration worked with cities and towns across our country to effectively end veteran homelessness. When First Lady Michelle Obama announced the mayor's challenge to end veteran homelessness, more than 800 local and state officials stepped up. And Washington, D.C. worked the way that we always wish Washington, D.C. would work. In Congress, both Democrats and Republicans supported funding for HUD and the VA to provide housing vouchers and supportive services to veterans in need of a place to live. Because of great work across the country, in city after city and town after town, between 2010 and 2016, veteran homelessness in America fell by 47%. In fact, 3 states and 35 cities effectively ended veteran homelessness altogether. One of my proudest moments as Secretary of HUD was standing alongside Vice President Biden and Governor Jack Markell to announce Delaware's achievement last Veterans Day. And housing first, an innovative policy, was at the center of that success. Now, anyone who has spent a few days in Los Angeles or any big city knows that we still have a long way to go to end homelessness among veterans, and even further still, to end homelessness overall in our nation. But we've seen that it can be done. We've also learned lessons that can help drive down homelessness among families and youth and non-veterans. Most importantly, so many lives have already been changed for the better because of smart public policy. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. In every field, in health, in education, the environment, transportation, infrastructure, policy innovations have made our world healthier, more prosperous, and ultimately more peaceful. And that's where you come in. I'm excited to be here today because I know that you're going to help write the next chapter of our nation's success, and in many cases, the success of communities all across the world. Because of your work, less children will go to bed hungry, more seniors will live healthy lives, more legislators will see the wisdom of investing in homelessness prevention, in closing the digital divide, and in combating climate change. And when that happens, all of us are going to win. And so, as you cross the stage today, it's surely a big victory for you and for your family, but it's also a victory for our nation and beyond. In the years to come, in all of the places that life will take you, my hope for you is that you'll always be honest with yourself and with others, that you'll keep your integrity, that you'll never stop learning. Don't ever think that you can't learn something from even the most unexpected sources. Good ideas don't come from just one political party although y'all might imagine which one I think has the better ideas. Or even one type of person. Know that a credential, your credential, is great, but that it's not enough. Those who make the most amazing differences in our world also have compassion and a sincere interest in other people, a willingness to be part of a team, and a strong work ethic. I hope that you'll always remember the love and the pride that you feel around you today, and that this weekend is a time of great celebration for all of the wonderful things that you've accomplished. A moment to take stock of the journey that you made here, but also, in a very real way, a time to reflect on why you started on this journey in the first place, and to see that you've been blessed with wonderful opportunity, and you know that you can help make that same kind of opportunity possible for so many others in the years to come. If and when you do that, I'm convinced that you'll help make our world a better place and help ensure that this 21st century is another American century. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Julián. Thank you. I am now pleased to introduce Griffin Kantz, the Price School's valedictorian. Griffin is receiving the bachelor's degree in policy planning and development with a concentration in sustainable planning and 2 minors, 1 in mathematics and 1 in spatial studies. At USC, Griffin has been a student assistant at the Metrans Transportation Center. He also served as a board member of the USC American Planning Association student chapter here at Price, and as a president of the USC Institute of Transportation Engineers student chapter. He is also a recipient of the Renaissance Scholar Award. So please welcome Griffin Kantz.
No. You'll set the expectations too high. But I do want to thank you for helping me keep this a secret from my parents. I'd like to make the most use of my time up here by thanking different groups of important people. People who have helped not only me, but everyone here graduating. I don't have much experience I could draw upon to give worthwhile advice. I know my place. I'm not young enough anymore that people can feel sorry for me. And I'm still not old enough to be taken seriously, especially not by the grad students and the doctoral students in the room. One of you was my boss for 3 semesters, and quite a few of you were my professors. You have higher sleep deprivation tolerance than I. There are more bullet points in your LinkedIn profiles. You outrank me. And owing to final exams, my memory's on 5% battery anyway, so I'll just be thanking people. This is the works-cited part that comes at the end of a project that took 4 years to make, and of course, we're fitting it in at the last minute. Let's start off by thanking the 2 most important people in each of our lives, the 2 whom you can count on always, who are always ready to offer their advice, who from the very beginning made everything possible. You all know who I'm referring to. Google and Wikipedia, thank you. I'll donate those $3 someday. Then there's the big 3, Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. You were always there, even when my Wi-Fi wasn't. YouTube, Google Docs, Spotify, Control-C, and similarly, Control-V. 24-hour Starbucks, Seeds Marketplace, the Maruchan Ramen Company. I'm proud of the work we've done this past year, and I look forward to keeping you in business even more. Tap cards, Uber, Future Me. I'm sorry about the responsibilities I keep giving you. Netflix, Beyonce, Roger Federer, the avocado. Professors, thank you so much for your immeasurable patience and generosity to share your accrued experience with us. You shepherded us through all 5 stages of learning: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. For months on end, you'll be the angels on our shoulders for the rest of our careers, reminding us to think things through, to manage our time wisely, to make the best first impressions, to always recall the case studies, and that ultimately all questions are answered in the syllabus. Thank you to all our friends and classmates. This is a mutual thanks between all of us graduating. We couldn't have made it this far without our friends' compassion, their irony, their spare food. I really hope it's true what they say, that the policy field is a small world, because I get to look forward to meeting you again someday in different contexts, and we'll get to do more work together. Imagine 2 decades from now, in 2037, when USC becomes the first school to impound a bike on Mars, how we'll get to talk about people in this very same room operating the world economy. Thank you, parents and grandparents, our mutual business understanding, in which I get free income in exchange for one-upping your friends' kids, is working out very beneficially for me. I'm quite fond of you and hope you choose to continue keeping me around as your client for future years. All of us here, you parents invest so much of your time and energy in our success, our security, our health, our education, and/or our happiness. It is impossible to thank you enough. If only there were a way we could show that gratitude on the same level. If only there were a whole day, maybe once a year, maybe a national holiday, this Sunday even, where we could single out just one of you and show our appreciation. We owe a lot of thanks to the university and the Sol Price School. I've had the opportunity to work under the Price School administration umbrella for 3 semesters, and it's amazing how much the department does behind the scenes in defense of its students and its staff. It's impossible to not have pride in being a USC alumni, and I'm thankful for that. And finally, we should all thank the event staff for making today's ceremonies possible. Always thank the event staff. Event planning is an invisible but critical part of real-world success. This is a lesson that Lord Walter Frey knows very well, and Ja Rule does not. It requires being comfortable with inevitable failure at seemingly every junction. Everything is your fault, even when it's not. It's the ultimate group PowerPoint project. A quotation is the best way I figured I can conclude. The paper graders in this room may have realized that my speech hasn't actually made a single substantive point. And I know how much that pains you deep down, but you're just going to have to accept it. Teddy Roosevelt once said, "Far and away, the best prize that life has to offer is a chance to work hard at work worth doing." And I would add that what makes work worth doing is getting to do it with the people you love. I started my career here more than 30 years ago in the Parks and Recreation Department in Pawnee, Indiana. This is still called a quote, by the way. I've had a lot of different jobs, and soon a new unknown challenge awaits me, which to me even now is thrilling because I love the work. Not to say that public service isn't sexy, because it definitely is. But that's not why we do it. We do it because we get the chance to work hard at work worth doing along a team of people whom we love. That was Leslie Knope, a fictional character played by Amy Poehler in the show Parks and Recreation, quoting President Theodore Roosevelt, another fictional character from the 2006 film Night at the Museum, starring Ben Stiller and Robin Williams. If we can live up to their ideals of good work, even if our career doesn't happen to lie in the public sector, I'm thinking of you, real estate development, we'll be prepared for the chaos of the real world. Thank you for inviting me up here. It was a pleasure to be able to be your mild disappointment for 4 years, but now I'm afraid I have to be someone else's. Thank you. Remember your Mother's Day gifts. Add me in LinkedIn at 3 a.m. tomorrow, and fight on.
Thank you, Griffith. So, now it is time to recognize the hard work of each and every one of our graduates. And we will now call up each student individually and hand out diploma covers. Diplomas will be mailed in 4 to 6 weeks. They're in the mail. We will begin with the Doctor of Philosophy candidates and Doctor of Policy, Planning, and Development candidates who will be hooded by their dissertation chairs, then follow with handing diploma covers to the master's candidates and conclude with our undergraduate candidates. After you have received your diploma cover, please return to your seat and stay in your seat until the ceremony concludes. So will Vice Dean Julie Zissimopoulos, will you please come to the podium at this time?
Dean Knott, I now present to you the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy in Policy, Planning, and Development, Doctor of Philosophy in Public Policy and Management, and Doctor of Philosophy in Urban Planning and Development.
Matthew Michael Young, hooded by Dr. Juliet Musso, Chair, Technological Innovation in Public Organizations. Sarah Louise Mahorter, hooded by Dr. Richard K. Green and Dr. Dal Myers, Reshaping Los Angeles, Housing Affordability and Neighborhood Change. Janelle Huai Huan Su, hooded by Dr. Shu Yan Tang. Why Go Green? Cities' adoption of local renewable energy policies and urban sustainability certifications. Okay. Ryan Knowles Merrill, hooded by Dr. Daniel A. Mazmanian. Climate change, stewardship, and the green paradox, the political economy of energy markets and unforeseen consequences of carbon policies. Sangun Kane, hooded by Dr. Genevieve Giuliano, Unraveling Decentralization of Warehousing and Distribution Centers, 3 essays. Hyo-Jung Lee, hooded by Dr. Dal Myers and Dr. Gary D. Painter, 3 essays on housing and urban demography. Eun-Jin Shin, hooded by Dr. Genevieve Giuliano, Residential Segregation of Ethnic Minorities and its Relationship to Travel Behavior and Access to Opportunities. Shizi Wang, hooded by Dr. Marlon G. Bournette, The Impact of Demographic Shifts on Automobile Travel in the United States, 3 empirical essays. Grace Lubuana, hooded by Dr. LaVonna Blair Lewis. Black Infant Mortality in Kalamazoo, Michigan, Understanding Key Elements of the Social Determinants of Health Model in Eliminating Health Disparities in Communities. Victoria de Guzman, hooded by Dr. Rafael Bostic, Case Studies for Real Estate Valuation. Patrick Isidoro Butler, hooded by Dr. Peter Robertson, Gangs Beyond Borders, California and the Fight Against Transnational Gangs. Can recommendations become reality? Perry Levon Fleming, hooded by Dr. Rafael Bostic, Another Dark Chapter in U.S. Housing Policy, the African American Millennial. Adam Smith Freer, hooded by Dr. Peter Robertson, Organizational Spiritual Maturity, OSM. Sue Chin Shaw, hooded by Dr. Deborah Natoli, A Paradigm Shift, Using Innovative Approaches in Competence-Based Data to Level the Playing Field in Social Work Distance Learning Education. Stephen Matthew Hubbard, hooded by Dr. Juliette Musso, Lessons Learned from the FHW, a State Infrastructure Bank Program. Peter Najad, hooded by Dr. Frank Zarunian, Elements of a Successful Multi-Sectoral Collaborative Forum, a Local Government Perspective, a Framework for Collaborative Governance, Dimensions Shared by Award-Winning Multi-Sectoral Partnerships. Mandel Robert White, hooded by Dr. Peter Robertson, The Context of Leadership in the Development of California's Innovation Hubs. Arlene Warmack Williams, hooded by Dr. Peter Robertson, Making It, a Strategies Guide for African American Entrepreneurs Seeking Capital in Los Angeles. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to our 2017 doctoral graduates.
Would Chair of our Health Policy and Management Department, Mike Nickel, please come forward and confer the degrees for our Health Policy and Management.
Dean Knott, I present the candidates for Master in Health Administration.
Grace Callie Hong.
Yamilet Medrano.
Jacqueline Gallardo.
Daisy Romero.
Hasmeek Manukian.
Talar Kakilian.
Roger Tang.
Megri Hagop Chuparin.
Sandra Yagubian.
Kareen Mizari.
Lisa Fan.
Shelby Vasquez.
Michelle Nguyen.
Kalika Price.
Wilson Horn.
Janae Osby.
Stephen Schulman.
Jamal Weaver.
Andres Ioanu.
Krishna Shukla.
Cassidy Butler.
Rita Acha.
Visesh Barbarian.
Indu George.
Louis Cedeno.
Erica Y. Chen.
Jason Willardson.
Mark Romero.
Caitlin Niemeyer.
Melody Pearl Chu.
Melissa Bufeta.
Ryan Foon.
Leah Morellis.
And Kita Dar.
Emily Yoon.
Sonam Kapadia.
Sasha Horn.
Alyssa Lopez.
Megan Diffley.
Felicia Hoodboy.
Renee Kumra.
Vivani Shastri. Sarish Faruqi. Amit Patel. William Stein. Cameron Lane. Preetal Patel. Connor Soares. Salem Hawatme. Nicolette Conti. Angelina Raquel. Jessica Serta. Todd Biersack. Please give a round of applause for the 2017 MHA graduates.
Dean Knott, I present the candidates for Executive Master of Health Administration.
Luis Felipe Arango.
Roderick McGrew II.
Alistair Aronson.
Michael Palacios.
Jonathan Aquino.
Patty Ma.
Michelle Bullock.
Matthew Wright.
Jennifer Klunder.
Richard Kang. David Ardaya.
Jennifer Myers.
Matthew Freedy.
Alex Cote Morales.
Marina Carano.
Neera Agarwal.
Anthony Wynn.
Benjamin Goki.
Linda Antes.
Sydney Crawley.
Melissa Missy Goss.
Diana Ramirez.
Astra Dunbar.
Alexandra Doldao Zandueda.
George Weiss.
Anthony J. Rodriguez.
Froilan Garcia Jr.
Normita Reyes.
Vivi Stafford.
Ruth Pepito.
Lolita Murchison.
Daniel Bustamante.
Brian Scott Williams.
Suzanne Su.
Kevin Burke.
Rafael Eric Maristella.
Brian Franco.
Waka Anwusa.
Alvin L. Jackson. Eldrin L. Day. Michael Wayne Gebhardt. Richard Stephen Tovar. Letty Vega Navrate. Fallon Williams. Kimberly McDowell. Rafael Gonzalez.
Carolina Aurora Marquez Canal.
Please give a round of applause for the 2017 Executive Master of Health Administration class.
Melissa Suzanne Salido.
Caitlin Sean Hennessy.
Jeffrey Calvert.
Danielle Ashley Carrillo.
Andy Ortiz.
Melody Clegan Fuss.
Jeffrey Bratcher.
Keanu Paten.
Jesper McWingdang.
Brooke Penix. Please give a round of applause for the 2017
Matthew Roth. Cliff Humphreys. Frank Muniz. Jay Marharjian. Randall Collins. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to our 2017 Executive Master of Leadership graduates.
Dean Knott, I present to you the candidates for the Master of Planning.
Olivia Johnsich.
Anna Evans Goldstein.
Sabrina Church.
Christina Gutierrez.
Derek Hung.
Edward Michael Munya.
Alessandra Smith.
Daisy Villafuerte.
Andrew Griffin.
Cody Egan.
Nikki Polizzato.
Oscar Alexis Monhe.
Ephraim Stone.
Michael Milano.
Patricia Quintero Estades.
Eurita Ramos.
Arpitha Sharma.
Sara E. Ortega.
Amanda Nagy.
Juan Galvan.
Axel Hellman.
Kotez Jongkuk Kim.
Matthew Kaufman.
Courtney Holt.
Sean Morales.
Julia Weem.
Sheng Yu Lee.
Catherine Buck.
Peifeng Zhao.
Max Sherman.
Michael Thomas Shankman.
Christopher Purcell.
Cora McNaughton.
Chung Ming Jen.
Katrina Castaneda.
Regine Osorio.
Amy Luan.
Tyler Lindberg.
Varun Kushra Dabandoy.
Jennifer Chan.
Fiona Camille Sol Cabana.
Yen Yu. Angelica Garcia. Jenny Hong. Jisoo Lee. Please give a round of applause for the 2017 Master of Planning students.
Dean Knott, it is my privilege to present to you the candidates for the Master of Public Administration.
Beth Albrecht.
Victoria Rocha.
Vincent Pla.
Ian Anderson.
Don Steele.
David Cohn.
Haley Falk.
Christina Coria.
Bevan Emily Klepper.
Veronica Fajardo.
Margaret Delarios.
Kevin Juan Ortiz.
Will Proust.
Christina Gutierrez.
Angela Hani Cho.
Adam Johns.
Nicole Carcel.
Kristen Matheny.
Rebecca Renee Mulqueen.
Amanda Raber.
Lori Aguilar.
Freddie Coupin Ames.
Vanessa Alderete.
Lucy Sanchez.
Tamar Sad.
Kristen Marie Butts.
Cindy Tovar.
Margaret Farrell.
Bridget Mary Kelly.
Meredith Fear.
Rachel Rolnicki.
Cynthia Trejo.
Esther Yang.
Rosanna Lynn Woods.
Christina Nguyen.
Eileen True.
Leslie Rowe Shim.
Jade Wheaton.
Michael Thomas Shankman.
Susanna Silva.
Andrew Lamott.
Stephen Montooth.
Kelsey Michelson.
Mark Andrew Yielding.
Ashley Pond.
Don Allen Sepulveda.
Lisa Exray.
Karen Lou Cook.
Daniela Garofalo.
Grace Tang.
James Drevno.
Owen Kim.
Madison Biederman.
Cassie Woods.
Ziwei Chen.
John Diaz. Emily Sun.
Zi Yin Lung.
Ashley Bonanno Curley.
Moon Sha Ji.
Christina Gomez.
Peiying Chen.
Sinyi John.
Christina Nunez.
Zhang Lu.
Brandon Keenan Chung.
Fei Fei Wu.
Ashley Zaragoza.
Fan Gao.
Carlos Livingston.
Ju Hai Gong.
Ryan Marr.
Kerr Du.
Andrew Rothens.
Sing Yu Hu.
Jaime Varela.
EJ Shen.
Tamlin Turango.
Wen Shin Zhu.
Miles McCadry.
Jane Zhang.
Thea Quigley.
Chang Chang Gong.
Noor Khalil.
Yi Zhang.
Maya Kramer.
Cha Mei Mong.
Alexis Court.
Ray Shuin Dai.
Natalie Fjord.
Hui Min Chi.
Christopher Quino.
Chi Go Chen.
Robert George Lucero Jr.
Heidi Phillips. Matthew Wilder.
Han Lee.
Maria de la Luz Garcia.
Yanan Guoa.
Laura McCullough.
Shanyao Wang.
Kimberly Lee Jia Chen.
Chin O.
Philip Pierce.
Shu Ye Lin.
Brendan O'Reilly.
Lance Burse.
Thomas Antonio Weary.
CG Zhao.
Janelle Miyashiro.
Yan Lau.
Laura Sheridan.
Latika Stanley.
Paige Haskin.
Chin Hu.
Juan Martinez.
Lindsay Verber.
Martine Blake.
Yvonne Mejias.
David Kinst.
Shayna Flesser.
Ross Mafum.
Stephanie Christina Struber.
Venetia Johnson.
Jeremy Trujillo Martinez.
Khaleesi Kupu.
John McManus.
Angel Barajas.
Steve Ozinga.
Marlon Cuellar.
Danisha Smith.
Shuiying Jiang.
Matthew Robertson.
Yang Yan.
Alethea Broom.
Mingjiang Ke.
Yvette Santana.
Xiao Qi Jin.
Stella Chung.
Hui Jiao Yuan.
Anna Maricela Aguirre.
Shi No Yu.
Judith Hermosillo.
Yifan Chen. Danielle Mooney. Patrick Wu. In-hee Lee. Please give a round of applause for the 2017 Master of Public Administration graduating class.
Dean Knott, I now present to you the candidates for the Masters of Public Policy.
Brittany Wise.
Victor George Sanchez Jr.
Nicholas Weinmeister.
Celia Guo.
William Baskerville.
Edgar Ortiz.
William Dunbar.
Anisha Hingorani.
Maiken Guyman.
Monica Santander.
Sarah Ungerite.
Keenan Jung.
Kristen Nystrom.
Elsa Mantilla.
Abby Volkman.
Charlene Unswatan.
Patricia Quintero Estades.
Win Do.
Arpitha Sharma.
Yadira Antonio.
Edward Michael Munya.
Fong Li.
Catherine Burke.
Ahmad Dadul.
Ali Limonade.
Barbara Higuera Perez.
Robin Burleson.
Leonardo Porario.
Robert Cudell.
Laura Inez Covarrubias.
Safa Lele.
Chris Copalilo.
Raul Martinez.
Elizabeth Proche.
Juanito Maravilla.
Caroline Serva.
Tony Wee.
Christina Bagdasarian.
Andrew Olnick.
Rachel Hughie.
Felix Rodriguez.
Catherine Christensen.
Hong Shi.
Ellie Lother.
Carlina Jiang. Mengjeng Yao. Meidi Shu. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause and congratulations to our 2017 Master of Public Policy graduates.
Dean Knott, I now proudly present to you the candidates for the Master of International Public Policy and Management, IPAM.
Ahmed Walid Majidyar.
Nisha Han.
Rohani Sinambela.
Tree Booty Marwanto.
Giovanni Zuniga.
Meng Yu Wee.
Hong Wong.
Jing Tong Le.
Donna Alswan.
Nelson Cho.
Shin Horiguchi.
Shamsa Mohammed Basaid.
Alibek Tektigulov.
Elmarie Kathy Edwards.
Joseph Gill Stewart.
Suhail Saeed Al-Rashdi.
Bakhtiar Koshkinov.
Praset Chen.
Sangwoo Kim.
Serena Fayanrat.
Fong Fei Dong.
Rashid Al-Mulia.
Bang Jun Kang.
Sultanat Karim Bayaya.
Jong Ho Kang.
Steve David Martinez.
Yao Jin.
Feng Shang.
Denise Wigar Yalama.
Yeyo Hu.
Yavuvan Yalama. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to our 2017 Master of International Public Policy Management graduates.
Dean Knott, I present to you the candidates for the Dollinger Masters of Real Estate Development.
Michelle Julietta Bates.
Joel Thompson.
Mark Allen Kuko.
Giovanni Arias.
Justin Ping Hu.
Joseph Williams.
Zachary Jacob Burns.
Derek Spalding.
Brett Nathan Burns.
Oren Hallel.
Marcus Robinson.
Tomoka Hayashi.
Joyce Chen.
Jenny Rossi.
Philip Ryan Florida.
Ryan Nichols.
Will Svitek.
Randolph Richard Walters.
Louis Benjamin Miller.
Layla Lee.
Angelo Christie.
Zachary Robbins.
Nick Graysu.
Nicholas Shia. Cherry Meow. V Pham. Please give a round of applause for the 2017 Dollinger Master of Real Estate Development graduating class.
Dean Knott, I present to you candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Policy Planning and Development, Bachelors of Science in Public Policy, Management and Planning, and our new Bachelors of Science in Urban Studies and Planning. You can cheer now.
Oscar Arcega.
Subin Kim.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm round of applause for our Bachelor of Science in Public Policy Management and Planning graduate for 2017. David Roachford.
Corbin Brooks.
Zach Smith. Nicholas Philo.
Tara Prasad.
Patrick Moody. Andrew Davarian.
Nika Shahiri.
Christopher James Engel.
Audrey Peterson.
Wyatt Strahan.
Laura Riley.
Nathan Rad.
Davina Myers.
Christina Morales.
Nicholas Germain.
Diana Amparo Jimenez.
Jordan Lopez.
Crystal Marie Chavez. Edwin Saucedo.
Colette Avanesian. Griffin Kantz.
Juan Negrete.
Nicole Pekar.
Sean Navi. Matthew Mershuki.
Ariana Derbalian.
Jonathan Farasat.
Nicholas Spear.
Sorel Cohen.
Alexander Adney.
Madison Kaplan.
Stephen Poon.
Juliana Roger.
Jeff Grijalva.
Stephen Wood.
Matthew Rezvani.
Victoria Hu.
Ari Abraham.
Carolina Booth.
Gideon Saidara.
Nana Sarkodid Adu.
Benjamin Dylan Philo.
Hannah Marie Jonas.
Michael Smilov.
Megan Dusenberry.
Annabella Mkies.
Tanner Macris.
Jenny D.
Alexia Garcia.
Juhi Shah.
Brennan Douglas Keller.
Sucharita Yella Pragada.
Luke Holthouse.
Brianna Thorpe.
Sahara Griffin.
Braulio Nicolas Hoyos Monti.
Joshua Geyer.
Alex Kanagawa.
Mary Tiggs.
Jason Michael Ballou.
Sarah English.
Jessica Bay.
Orlando Nieves III.
Anna Lee.
Matthew Rudd.
Tina Sand.
Nicole Walker.
Faith Lee.
Jessica Yu.
Sung Hae Kill.
Donald Honorea.
Peter Greenwald.
Tiffany Gaska.
Emily Moneymaker.
Vivian Tang.
Lucas Dobbins.
Gabrielle Wong.
Emma Moltz.
Christian Palmero.
Robert Julian Ganella. Cole Roberts. Wan Yu Ho. Jack Shepard. Joshua Devin Hasid. Omar Hassan. Daniel Ne Min Tun. Matthew Yamu Deem. Please give a round of applause for the 2017 graduating Bachelor of Science in Policy Planning and Development.
I now present to you the candidates for the Bachelors of Science in Real Estate Development.
Albert Blank.
Cody Holmes.
Joseph Nelson.
Bryce Larson.
Austin Shredden.
Jack Basilari.
Matan Parian.
Angelo Ignacio.
Maxwell Todd Shedlowski.
Landon Domenico.
Mitchell Embry.
Maxwell Gates.
Drew Freeman.
Natalie Nahn.
Drew McMillan.
Tiffany K. Smith Cofield.
Troy Palucci.
Danielle Doherty.
Ethan Khalil.
Kendra Ekblad.
David Hakakian.
Jack Romero.
Shira Hakim.
Eric Bowman II.
Karen Elias.
Alex Yasayan.
Bradley Norofshan. Ryan Ajnasian. Samuel James Kuchikian. Hayden Simbal. Vivian Volpicelli. Colby Peso Watson. Lucas Yoder. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm round of applause to our 2017 graduates of the Bachelor of Science in Real Estate Development.
So will everyone please stand? To the faculty and staff, proud parents, relatives and friends, I proudly present to you the Saul Price School of Public Policy class of 2017. Graduates, you may now move your tassels to the left side. Congratulations and good luck. Please remain seated for the recessional, and then please join us for a reception across the street on the lawn behind Levy Library. To get there, you turn left as you exit the shrine, cross Jefferson Boulevard at the traffic light, and then cross the parking lot, and you will see Price School signs and our reception, which is right next to the Levy Library. We invite you to enjoy your time with your family and friends. Thank you.